Yeah.
So.
Wow, I'm really playing with fire here. Have not spilled yet. I'm Alison Roman, and I want you to cook more fish at home. The way that I'm gonna get you to do that is by cooking this recipe for tomato poached cod with chili oil and herbs. It's extremely easy, it comes together super fast, and I think it's extremely delicious. So for anybody who's afraid of cooking fish at home, I feel like the most commonly, described problem is that they're afraid their apartment's gonna smell, or they're afraid that they're gonna overcook it, or they don't know what kind of fish to buy. And that's why I like this recipe, because I feel like it solves a lot of those problems and answers a lot of those questions. The fish that you're gonna use, I like to use a firm, meaty, white fillet that is skinless and boneless. And there are about a gajillion types of fish that you can use for this, but I like things like cod, fluke, halibut can be a little pricey, but it's really good here. Flounder, any sort of firm, unfishy, skinless fish fillet. I have two examples of the types of fish that I would use here on kind of either end of the spectrum. So on the very thin side, we have flounder, and it's, as you can see, very thin, very delicate. And it's delicious, and I love it in this preparation. The only issue you run into is that you end up putting a lot more in the skillet, so it can be really crowded. It has a very mild flavor, really delicate flesh. It's almost never gonna overcook. I love this fish. And then on the other end of the spectrum, which is gonna be a thicker fillet, this is cod. And as you can see, this is like a big fillet. And it almost always comes like this, where it's kind of split because they take a bone out here. But I love this fish because you can buy one fillet, you can feed 4 to 6 people, just cut it into kind of nice steaks, and they all snuggle in nicely in the broth. It also has just like a very meaty, kind of mild fish flavor. For anyone who's not that into fish, I feel like cod is a really great gateway fish. The other important part is the tomato broth that we're gonna poach the fish in. And that begins with a chili oil. I like a lot of garlic. If you like it less or you like it more, feel free to adjust the amount of cloves, but I'm gonna start with 4. Oh, my squirrel's back. I have a squirrel who lives in this plant out here. Oh, he's eating the raspberries. That's so great. I left him a basket of raspberries. I'm basically Sleeping Beauty up in here. Oh my God, he's eating it in his little hands. Ah! Okay, sorry. 5 hours later, all my garlic is peeled. Because we're toasting this in the oil, you do want to make sure that the cloves are pretty uniformly sliced. And shallots are a real mystery. A lot of times when people hear one shallot, they're like, do you mean one shallot, or do you mean, well, this is a bad example. Never mind, cut it, scrap that thought. Sometimes there's 2 in a packet, whatever. Sometimes there'll be like 2 shallots in one. This is still 1 shallot. I like to separate them because it creates a flat surface for me to slice instead of it rolling around. So I'm gonna start it in the skillet. It's the same skillet that I'm gonna cook the whole dish in. 1 skillet, that's it. I don't have anything to say about that. So we're gonna get started by making our chili oil, and this is gonna serve as the garnish after the dish is done, and also the oil that we're gonna start our broth in. So I'm gonna add the shallots and the garlic. I'm gonna add the chili like right before they're done, because you're just kind of blooming the spices in the oil. You're not necessarily wanting to cook them or toast them beyond like adding some hot oil. So things are starting to happen. You can see like the thinner bits are definitely getting golden. And right when you start to see the goldenness happening, that's when things will start to happen really quickly, so don't walk away. All right, I'm gonna add the chili now. And one thing I'll note when cooking garlic or shallots like this, when you're trying to get them brown and crispy, is that they will continue to cook after you remove them from the oil. So I always take them out like just as they are, right before the color that I want them, and then miraculously, like a minute later, you'll look in the bowl and they'll be exactly the golden brown that you want. So I like to get everything in there and then use a slotted spoon. I'm gonna very carefully add most of this oil into here, leaving about, a thin layer, 2 tablespoons or so. And this is kind of like the amount of olive oil you'd want in a skillet when you're starting to make a tomato sauce, which is exactly what we're gonna do. These happen to be small and cute, but you don't have to use small and cute tomatoes. If you have a larger tomato, just kind of cut it into chunks. I'll leave some halved, some quartered, because at the end, then I'll get, larger, chunkier pieces and saucier pieces. I like that variety. Once the tomatoes are added, I'm gonna season everything with salt and pepper. Where's my salt? This is because you wanna season the sauce at every step of the way, but also adding salt to the tomatoes is gonna help draw out their liquid. which is gonna encourage like the beginning of this sort of saucy situation that is happening in there. So these are gonna cook down for 5 to 8 minutes-ish, just until they become really saucy, really jammy, kind of thick. And at that point, that's when we're gonna add our fish sauce and some water to kind of thin everything out, make sure that it feels brothy enough to poach our fish. So this little bad Larry is fish sauce, and it's an ingredient that I use pretty much all the time. It may seem weird to add fish sauce to a dish where I'm asking you to find fish that's not fishy, but trust me, hear me out, see it through. It doesn't add fishiness. It adds just like a richness, kind of like a meatiness that is gonna take tomatoes, which kind of already have a lot of those qualities, and bring them to like a whole nother level. So this is definitely, things are happening. And if I'm feeling impatient, if I'm like, oh, I should have really cut them all into smaller pieces, you can just encourage things to happen. Take the back of my spoon, just kind of give them a smash with your spoon like this. So I would say we're almost there. I'm not looking for a puree. I don't want it to be super silky smooth. I like this like jammy, beautiful, saucy sitch, and then also these larger, thicker pieces that I can eat with my fish. So I'm gonna add just a few dashes of fish sauce. You don't need a lot. It may seem counterintuitive that I'm asking you to cook something down until it's like super concentrated and saucy and jammy and then add water. But what that's doing is it's concentrating the flavors to begin with. And that way when you're diluting it, it's kind of like where it should be overall. I'm gonna bring that up to a simmer, and then I'm gonna taste it. I'm gonna make sure that it has enough salt, enough pepper, and then I'm gonna add my fish. And speaking of fish, I'm gonna cut the fish now. Where is my cutting board? Find anything here because I have too many things. I am literally my grandmother. I would probably just cut it on the paper, but I'm trying to set a good example. Where is it? It's clear, so oh, I know where it is. Nope, that's not it. I guess not quite clear, but only I can see it. Oh, yeah, that's it. I think it's a really good idea to use a separate and plastic cutting board when cutting things like meat and fish. I don't always do it with meat, but I always do it with fish because it can be fishy. So we're gonna use cod. And this piece I'll leave like that. Overall, you should be getting about 4 portions from 1 1/4 pounds of fish. There we go. If I were using these, you're probably looking at about 1 fillet per person. So you see why I feel in this situation, it's probably easier for 4 people to go with a meatier, thicker fillet, just so they all fit in the skillet. But if I'm cooking for just myself or another person, I feel like these thinner fillets totally fine to use. I'm gonna season my fish with salt and pepper. Extremely delicious. I'm gonna get a little more pepper. You wanna cook the fish in the most flavorful, delicious liquid humanly possible. Okay, so she is ready to go in. And by she, I mean all of these fishes. And you'll see as I add them, the liquid will keep kind of rising up the fish. And by the time the 4th piece is in, they should all be pretty much submerged. No, do I? Wow. Life comes at you fast. Woo, all right. So I say to cover it. News to me, if you don't have a lid that fits your skillet, a nice thing to do is use like a sheet tray, ta-da, or something like that. That's just gonna kind of cover. And what you're doing is you're creating steam so the tops of the fish cooks evenly. So I'm gonna put these little fellas to bed and not even think about it for at least 4 minutes. Again, if you're using those thinner fillets like tilapia, flounder, fluke, it's gonna take probably closer to 4. And if you're using something thicker like cod, halibut, it might take closer to 6, 7. Ooh. A good way to tell that your fish is done is that it goes from that translucent, sort of pale pinkish color to a firm, white, opaque situation. Another way to tell is that, you know, when you press on it, it should be firm and meaty, not mushy or squishy. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna serve this fish in a shallow bowl because it's so brothy. I want it to kind of have somewhere to go.
What's in your oven?
My tortillas were frozen, so I'm just reheating them. So you don't think that I was ill-prepared and didn't defrost them before you guys all showed up. So you could serve this with a multitude of things. You could serve it with the frozen tortillas you forgot to pull out of the freezer. You could serve it with a bowl of rice. I've seen people do it with couscous, with farro, with other cooked grains. I've seen people serve it with toast. I feel like the possibilities are truly endless. It's extremely heavy. And then you want to top it with this extremely delicious, shalloty, crunchy chili oil. From there, I like to do both mint and cilantro, but if you are feeling one or the other or neither, that's also fine. I love a ton of herbs, especially with fish. And then if you want, and I do want, lime. You get those tortillas. I was just warming them up because I like to make sure that they're warmed through, you know? And this is kind of like, you know, a dunk situation, if that is your vibe. Or you can kind of eat it almost like fish tacos or whatever. It is honestly so good. I'm gonna eat it now. Is that? I really love cod for this because it is really firm and flaky and has like almost zero fishy flavor whatsoever. I love this dish so much. And you do too, I guess. People really are cooking the hell out of this fish. I'm very hungry. So that is a tomato poached fish with chili oil and herbs. And if you like this, then I think you'll like all the other New York Times cooking videos that we have. And on a personal note, I am extremely thrilled to see so many people cooking this dish because it was truly my mission to get you to cook more fish at home. And honestly, you're really doing it. You are cooking this recipe. So that brings me so much joy, and thank you.